Joining me now to talk about this is Daveed Gartenstein-Ross. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's also an adjunct professor in Georgetown University's Security Studies program. Daveed, welcome to the program. What is happening in London? Third attack in recent weeks. Why are we seeing this?
Right. Obviously, you had two different jihadist-inspired terrorist attacks. You had this, which was an anti-Muslim attack using a ramming as a system of attack. You have a very deeply fractured society in Britain right now. There's an intense politicization of Muslim identity. That is, the role of Muslims in Europe and the UK has been routine fodder for political debates and the stuff of tabloid news. And so you have an atmosphere right now surrounding this issue, which is extraordinarily divisive. Rhetoric is heated. Unfortunately, you saw this horrendous hate crime occur last night.
The more things like this happen, of course, they are meant to divide a community. They are meant to create panic and fear. In this case, it seems this community is more united than ever before. I mean, you had bystanders who tackled this man.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that it means that it's a united community. The natural thing to do, regardless of who's the victim, when you see an innocent person plowed down by a van, is to tackle the perpetrator. The evidence suggests to me that that British society is extraordinarily divided. That mirrors general patterns that you can see in Europe and patterns that we can see as well, obviously, in the United States right now. And there are multiple reasons for this, ranging from economic to demographic factors to factors that relate to rhetoric that you can routinely see being used in political and media spheres, and also the way we communicate. In this age of social media, it's far easier to be in close proximity with people you hate, tell them how much you hate them, and to really feel that the enemy is ever present in your own sphere of being.
So let's talk about the suspect. He was caught. He is alive. When investigators question him, what will they be looking for?
Well, a lot of what they're looking for is out there. He expressed his motive at the time. He said, "All Muslims, I want to kill all Muslims." I think they'll look, as they do in other cases when you have a hate crime or a terrorist attack, to look whether there are connections, whether this man is part of a hate group or a bigger network of some kind, whether he acted alone. They'll look to where he got the van from. It's a van that he had rented prior to the attack. All of those are questions that they're going to be asking. There also will probably be, as there has been in jihadist cases, some question about atmosphere of incitement or other influences that may have helped to push him over the edge and drive him to action.
So once again, we have seen a vehicle used as a weapon. We saw it in London, we saw it in Cannes. Is this the new normal, using vehicles as weapons of destruction?
Absolutely. I mean, you can see this in other cases as well. There was in Sweden, there was an attack using a vehicle. We saw, you mentioned France, and we saw this happen in Nice with 80 people killed. The Berlin Christmas markets, there was a foiled attempt to use a vehicle to ram into a shopping area in Belgium. It's unfortunately an all too easy way to kill people. Vehicles are ever present in society. It's somewhat of a necessity. You can't build barriers in front of every sidewalk. One thing any sort of killers will try to do is look for obvious vulnerabilities, and vulnerability to ramming attacks with vehicles right now is something where we're not going to see that method go away.
And what does the Muslim community in London need to hear right now from the Mayor of London, from Prime Minister May?
I think that you had Sadiq Khan come out already, the Mayor of London, with a fairly long piece in The Guardian talking about the unacceptability of these attacks. Obviously, London has a Muslim mayor right now, and May has come out and called it a terrorist attack. Some of what we just saw, talking about how they're with the community, they won't accept anti-Muslim prejudice, all of that is an important thing for the community to hear.
For the psyche.
It is, but I don't think the knife's edge is going to go away. I mean, I think that not just with respect to Muslim identity, but writ large, we're at a very tense time within Western society. I think like last year, for example, you saw the member of parliament, Joe Cox, who'd gotten killed just about a year ago, June 16th of last year. That was, in the context of the Brexit vote, and she was someone who had strongly opposed leaving the EU. A number of different issues are coalescing. Western society is in a point of crisis, and I do think that we're going to see rhetoric get more heated, and we will see, unfortunately, other hate crimes and other politically motivated killings.
Hate to leave it there, but Daveed Gartenstein-Ross, thank you, as always. Appreciate it, sir.